All right. So I'm here with David O'Fallon. We're going to ask a couple of questions about COVID-19 and its impact. So, Dave, the first question that I would have for you is, how has COVID-19 impacted your psychological health as a Black man in King County?
Mm, I would say quite a bit, simply because I'm caring for a 93-year-old parent. And when the pandemic hit, we went into isolation quite a bit sooner than everybody else did
Mm-hmm.
because of my concern for her health. But we have been isolated from our family, uh, my brother's family that's been living here. So I haven't really got to see my nieces or my brother or his wife too often in the last 2 years. I think we've seen them maybe. Uh, I can probably count all the times on my two hands, um, in person. And
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning, they would come and they didn't even come in the house. They would sit outside of the garage and we would meet with them out there for a while before we got the vaccines and everything else. So it's been kind of stressful a bit. My mom has not been able to do the things that she's, in her social circle. So she has depended a lot more on me, for companionship and to talk to and just like today, I took her out driving around, but we don't go anywhere. I mean, like we used to be able to go to church, and she would go to her exercise class, and I would go to my classes in public and interact with people, during events that we were having wherever I was teaching or presenting at. But everything has stopped, and so social life has been a little stressful.
Okay.
Even though I've been keeping up with people virtually, but it's not the same thing as hanging out with people.
Mm. So, how do you think the second kind of question that I have thinking about this is, what are your thoughts about um, the impact on the African American community in King County? Is the biggest issue or challenge folks getting the vaccine? Or number two, is the big issue or challenge folks getting tested every 3 to 5 to 7 days? Or three, um, masking up and sanitization? Which one of those three things you think is the bigger deal in our community?
Well, I think they're actually all pretty um, pretty challenging for everyone. Um, I see, however, just from what I've observed out and about in our community,
Mm-hmm.
I actually see more black folks masking up in places than I see white folks. I don't know if that's, I'm just noticing that, or
It's not as big of a challenge than in our
right.
community specifically. What about
Uh,
testing? Do you see people responding to the testing or not, especially those vaxxed or even
well,
those that are
testing recently has been so hard to do. People prior, when we first started getting the pandemic, people were getting tested when they felt like they got sick. But a lot of people I hear from, well, I think I had it, you know, or I was feeling sick, so I must have had it. But um, the people in the beginning that actually got it were getting hospitalized, or you knew that they had it.
Mhm.
Um, I think that it freaked out a lot of people, but testing was kind of difficult. Even at the beginning, it was a little difficult to get a test. I mean, I actually tested a couple of times, but it was through my doctor and my health network that I was getting tested at first.
Mhm.
Um, Eventually, I was able to get my hands on some rapid tests, but that was during a time that we weren't in the middle of a spike,
Got it.
and
So what about
so
so
they,
what about what about the issue around vaccines? Do you think that there's more apprehension for folks to get vaccinated, or have you seen that?
I think that mostly has happened in the younger generation. I'm saying most of the uh, kids I've seen anywhere between 17, 18 on to, people in their 30s. My niece didn't get vaccinated for 2 years until a
Mhm.
mutual friend who was pregnant actually died. And I think that scared her into getting
Wow.
vaccinated.
Wow.
Um,
Mhm.
and I think one of the biggest issues is that as Black families and minority families in general, we're multi-generational, meaning that most people have households where there could be 3 or 4 generations in the household. And so if the young people are going out and not getting vaccinated and pretty much doing things like they have done in their past lives and basically being a little more uh, throwing care to the wind, they get sick, bring it home, and then it was something like Omicron. It only takes a matter of days, and the entire family is infected. I just got um, news that my sister-in-law's entire family came down with COVID, and that seems to be how it acts.
Yeah.
It's a larger
Okay.
family, and they get infected
All right. Great.
quickly. Quickly.
Got it. So what I did is I ended that broadcast. It was going long, but it gives us an opportunity